Ugh. Hold on. I'm gonna crash out. Oh my god. Oh, bro. Day 208. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think it's day 208. Yeah, something like that. Yo, what? Yo, what the fuck? Alright, whatever, bro. 208. Bro, today was the single-handedly worst, best day of my life. Most stressful day. Or just, yeah, well, today we did coming up to around 12 hours of work. I'm not talking about we tried to work for 12 hours. No, we literally 12 hours straight. I did work. Like I was working on something, and I could explain all of it right now. But it is 1:26 a.m. I am so drained. I mean, bro, my back is hurting like fucking hell because I've been sitting at this desk for 12 hours, 13 hours, running up around 13 hours. I took a 1 hour break. I had 30 minutes to eat and around 40 minutes of exercise just so I could complete the circle because, um, yeah, we'll go through the fitness right now. Uh, I made it a kind of a subconscious challenge where I want to try and complete my circle for the entire month of June. So as you can see, June, the circles are complete. We're 3 days in. As you can see, back in November 25, pretty much around the prime time of my fitness career, I was locked in. As you can see, I literally filled up every single day for 3 weeks straight. Oh, even including these ones up here in October. Yeah, around a month straight. I completed my circles. Um, yeah. Oh God, even in October, I was locked the fuck in too. So yeah, well, I'm gonna try and bring that back for the whole month of June. Maybe we'll just carry it on for June for now. I will try and complete my circle every day. So that means 400 calories burned, 30 minutes exercise, 6 hours of standing. Today, I just played a bunch of basketball because I've been working so fucking hard on this that I just didn't really find time to exercise. So I just kind of had to resort to the closest thing I had, which was basketball. Basketball is always there for me, cardio wise. Somehow I stood up for 6 hours. I think it's because I've been up since 10. But yeah, long day today. We have done so much. I don't even know where to start, bro. Okay, so we got our fitness done. If you don't know, now that you don't actually know, but what am I saying? I'm tweaking, bro. I'm tweaking. Calories today, we have netted 210. I've eaten 690 calories and I burned about 480. So do the math. That's net 210. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? So for the whole day, all I've eaten is 210 calories. What the fuck am I gonna do with that? I'm at 74 grams of protein apparently. Bro, it's 1:30 a.m. What am I gonna eat now? I'm cooked. Let's drink some water. I haven't had water in fucking 7 hours. Oh, I hit the spot, bro. Anyways, so actually, I know we can start. We can start here. This might be a 30-minute video. I don't even know. I'm just gonna go until I don't feel like explaining anymore. Might be soon because I'm tired. But yeah, starts here. This is what we referenced yesterday. I think I wrote this all yesterday. So this is week one. It says week one here. This means it's currently Thursday or Wednesday, I guess. I was supposed to finish, or this was kind of the plan for the week. Like I said, this was the plan for the next month, meaning that I had pretty much all the time in the world to be working on this stuff. Bro, I finished all that today. 13 hours of work, 12 hours of work. Everything to listen. Do you saw how much fucking writing that was? I did all of it today. I literally squad wipe that shit. Solo squad wipe. All I have to do now is all the next stuff and preparing the revision sheet. But I've basically finished it all. No, no, not basically. I did not stop. I finished all of it. Like, this is insane. I'm only proud of this because I've literally never done 12 full straight hours of work in a day. I would do, you know, I would have the boot camps, right? We'd be sitting there for around 10 hours or whatever. I'd only do around 6 hours of work, maybe 5, 7, 8, 13 to 12 to 13 hours of work. That is unheard of. Sometimes I don't even have 12 to 13 hours worth of work to do. But today, bro, I was so tapped in. The coherency was just there. Like, I knew exactly what I needed to do, was exact next steps to be done, and I got all of that done until I physically was like, okay, this is like, there's no more I can do today. I have to wait till tomorrow, or I have to, we'll continue with this another day. Because there's just so much that I could do, and I knew what I had to do, so I just did it. I feel like I only can really stop once I start to get kind of lost. I'm unfamiliar with the next step. I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I have to, think it through. But today was just, nope, boom, boom, boom. Next step after next step. Like, it was so clear. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. Now I gotta do this. Now do this. Get work on this. Like, so freaking sick. Because we just did so much today. We got so much work done today. It was just so much game. Let's go through some of it. So, essentially, what we wanted to do today was, or what I wanted to do today was, let's see, prior to this, I had finished the mock-up. We were starting to arrange reference images and details for the patches and how we want them to be made. Essentially, we are trying to communicate to our manufacturer as effectively as possible and how we can get, the details produced. So what I did today was essentially, as you can see, so this is what we had before, right? This is the start. This is our crazy giant mood board, our development. I thought this was a lot. Matter of fact, here, look at all this. I basically doubled the whole thing. We have a whole new section now. May not seem like much, but every single piece here is so meticulously crafted where, I had to like literally, oh, y'all don't even know. You don't even know. But okay, let's start here. We're going to go through this quickly because I want to sleep, bro. First, measuring out the patches. What I did here was, you can't see, but there's a hoodie on the ground. I took the patches, printed them out myself, and I measured them exactly how they are. So this is actually the patches to scale. These are the patches to scale. I took them, printed them out, measured them so that I could get a physical estimate on what they would look like. And so, yeah, the 8 to 12, yada, yada, yada. Final arrangement, we got the patches. Then I had to think about, oh shit, there's an overlap between them. How am I going to communicate that to the manufacturer? Because you can make it, right? But how are you going to repeat that? You need some blueprints. So I had to go through, this was like the first half of the day. It was this, just going through the different cutouts or just the layouts in which you have to sew. I had to go through and configure all of this. Granted, I did use some AI to just assist me with the thought process, but, I had to configure this all myself. That's why it's so grueling. Like, this may seem like nothing, right? Nothing compared to all this writing and all this. But all this stuff is so meticulous. It literally talks about down to the exact measurements, down to the exact centimeter. What does that mean? I had to measure all this myself. I had to go through all this measurement, and I had to be able to convey that in a message that's clear for the manufacturer. Like, oh, you pin this down and then leave this unstitched, all that, whatever the fuck. And then here we have the cluster. So obviously, once you have all these, ready, you start to actually patch them in the same arrangement. And then you have to obviously put that in a specific position on the hoodie. So you obviously got to write out instructions for that on what point or what position you want to put it in. So obviously you need to measure out your anchor point that you kind of use as a point of reference. And you got to use a bunch of reference points. Yeah, that's essentially how you get measurements. This took me so long. This took me pretty long, like a few hours. And then I was like, okay, what's next? Boom, dimensions, size charts. I created up some outlines. Now, my original tech pack, long ago, first tech pack. If you look at this here, look at our size chart. Look how measly that is. It doesn't describe anything. We have 3 measurements. Now, the sample, oh, I should say, I actually didn't even tell y'all. Our sample is done. It's finished and it's been shipped and it's expected to come tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a big day. We are going to see tomorrow night what we've been waiting for a month. Now you already know what it looks like. We all know what it looks like. It's fucking ass. But we're gonna review it. We're gonna go through it and we're gonna see the what I'm most curious about is the fit, the fabric, how it looks on body and how it feels. And we'll probably do some maybe a wash test, but I was informed that there was already a pre-shrinkage wash test. So probably don't need to do that, but we need to wear it out. See if it's durable, see if it can endure, conditions. Because obviously, you buy a hoodie, you're not going to wear it once. You're going to wear it multiple times, and it needs to be able to withstand, that wear. So yeah, new details. Obviously, we know the first sample. It was horrible. A lot of mistakes I made on my part. So this is a very much needed hurdle we need to get over. Being able to convey everything we want in detail. So we need to, all these pink note slips I made are essentially all the instructions we need. And I literally made sure I did not skimp out on a single detail, down to the freaking margins of the stitching. I wanted 3 to 4 millimeter inside the raw edges of the graphic, down to the fucking measurements of the graphics, down to the positioning of the graphics. Like I said in the first tech pack, a lot of things I actually left unsaid, and a lot of things I left just kind of from estimating. You know, like for example, the measurements, very simple. The stitching, I provided 3 completely different reference photos. So essentially, this one looks nothing like this, and this looks nothing like this. What are they going to reference off of? That makes no sense. How are they going to know what I actually want if I send them 3 different complete examples? Graphics here, 17 by 26. Yeah, this is just like, really? This is the only detail you give me? TTG print on 100% cotton. We'll provide a file print. It's sure it's straight to the point, but it's so broad. It doesn't leave room for anything, or it leaves room for everything. It just leaves so much on the table that you don't even know. So yeah, now we are much more sure. Our patches are going to be made from 100% cotton woven canvas. We'll probably do a 10 to 12 or a 7.5 ounce. I'm gonna probably request them to get a sample piece of fabric to test the initial printing of it, because I want to see how it looks with 7.5 ounce compared to a 10 to 12 ounce cotton woven fabric. Because the cotton duck canvas is, if it's 10 to 12 ounce, it's on the fairly heavier side. It's thicker, so it might be too thick for these patches. But we don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I obviously, that's kind of something you can't really just tell and establish straight on. You kind of have to. It's more of a look and feel kind of thing. You have to be able to see it present, physically, to be able to determine that. But yeah, so we got all that done. Moving on to the size charts. These are new implements that we've made. These are hoodie graphic dimensions for a graphic that we've added on top of the hood. Little subtle detail. Little subtle detail. Nothing crazy. You can't even notice it because when you wear it, you literally can't even see it. So it's chill. Actually, now that I realize, yeah, add that too. Yeah. So you can't actually tell it's a little some. It's gonna be embroidered, so that's cool. It'll be a cool detail. But one problem I have with this, oh, we have hood dimensions as well. Yes, another dimension. One problem I have with this is it is so hard to, instruct. There's so many things that could go wrong if you don't, if you're not careful with how you explain it to them, or you're not, you know, if you don't explain it with enough detail. They have a pretty good chance of fucking it up because it's quite easy to fuck up if you're not, you know, straightforward. If you're not, communicating well, or if you don't explain it properly. So I need to actually rework on that. That's kind of the last thing I need to do, but it's pretty much done. So just gotta get Claude to rework that, see if I can improve on communicating, because obviously I know how I want it, but I just need to be able to give them proper instructions so they can also configure it the way I want. So here we have obviously the piece embroidered patch, which is on the bottom pocket here. It's made with the same canvas, I believe. Maybe I think it's also a cotton duck canvas. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh. We have instructions here for it as well, and we have thrown a little reference picture, which is this is a pretty cute picture. So yeah, this is now what I've been doing is I actually only stick to one reference photo. So as you can see, there's only one per detail. That's because I didn't want to make the same mistake of doing this again, where it's kind of showing a bunch of references for no reason that have no correlation. I'm doing this because I'd rather have one detail with a reference, one reference photo that basically conveys exactly what I want, almost down to like a 99% accuracy, than two or three different reference photos that are slightly deviating in a way. They have slight changes, so they're obviously slightly different. So it's going to confuse the manufacturer. Like, what aspects of which reference photo do you want? When you can just find one really accurate reference photo and use that. So here for the patch, this is literally what I want my patch to look like. Like, if they can replicate it like this with my, obviously my attributes, that would be great. Same with this Vitamins hoodie. It's a two-piece panel hood that comes down with the seam here. Also with this kind of, I don't know what that's called, that little bar. It's like a overlay kind of. It's also stitched down. But as you can see, this embroidery is a seam crossing embroidery. So it's a embroidery that's kind of connects these two panels together, because these are two different, pieces of fabric. These two patterns, they're separate, and they stitched them together with the seam. So seam crossing embroidery is where you can literally bridge the gap between the differentiation of it with just this embroidery. It's a genuine skill. But my logo is a little different. I believe you can separate the two into halves. So two panels get one a half of the logo, and they stitch them together, and they should combine nicely. But that comes with a lot of problems and issues, because if you don't align them properly, or if you make one different, if you make it too far away, you don't get the right, literally to the exact millimeter of alignment, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna be messed up. So we need to be a little more careful with that. But honestly, the easiest way you could do that is to get a sample of it, trial and error kind of thing, or you get a sample hoodie without the embroidery, and you just try and like figure out where you want it, get those reference to the measurements, and just try and see if you can work from there. But I don't know. We'll think about this later. Probably tomorrow I'll go through it another time and see if my manufacturer can figure it out. Because low key, my manufacturer is really good at communicating. Like, if they don't know, or they want to, kind of confirm what I want, they will, notify me like, oh, this is like this in the tech pack. Do you want it like this? We can do it like this. How do you want it? And then they're pretty great at communicating. So should be not too much of a hassle. Yeah, we've gone through all that, and then obviously our last thing, the size tag embroidery patch. This is a reference photo. See, these reference photos are good for you guys as well to watch. You understand how I want my things. So yeah, read it and weep. I just went through 13 hours of work in about 20 minutes, because I'm not gonna sit here and explain every single thing, even though I like you just did. But 13 hours of work for 20 minutes of explanation. It's because, I didn't go through all the actual instructions and all that, which obviously took me the longest. And also, I'd have to say the measurements. Like, y'all gotta understand, I had to take each and every one of these measurements. Um, this one, this one, the size chart's not, but all these ones, I had to make sure they're literally down to the perfect thing, or else it's not gonna work. I had to get this. I had 4 iterations here of different cutouts of these patches made out of paper. So they all say different dimensions because I was testing out whether it would look how it would look on a hoodie. I have this hoodie here. I've been spamming this hoodie to use for measurements because it has pretty good sizing and fit to relative to my hoodie and kind of what I want. So yeah, I've been testing a bunch of stuff on that using all these patches. Oh, yeah, that goes same with the patch on the hood and the size tag as well. Just not even guesstimating. I'm properly measuring, making sure that every it all aligns so that there's no like room for error or room for guessing or estimating on the actual sample because bro, these things cost money, bro. They're expensive. And I have 2 colorways now to produce, which literally doubles production price. So yeah, means the bulk orders also doubled. I don't know if I have to raise my prices to a custom for that, but yeah, bro, it's getting expensive, bro, but it's okay. It's all worth it in the end. I'm excited to see what this comes with. I'm excited to see where this goes. Uh, yeah. So right now we have pretty much all this done. The detailing. What we need to do next on our list: personal brand and packaging preparation design. We have been preparing that on the side as well with the manufacturer. I've been discussing with her for the past throughout the day, getting packaging design done. I sourced a 12 millimeter thickness polyethylene packaging bag. They had one that was a little too white, and she noticed that. Sorry, what am I saying? Yo, I need to chill out, bro. They had one originally that we were gonna use, but that one is a little too white for me. I wanted something a little more translucent, so we opted out for a 12 millimeter, which is a little more thicker. But they did say thicker. The thicker it is, the the less transparent it is. Um, but I don't know. The one they sent me was pretty good. It has a nice frosted look that I've been looking for, and it's less white. I don't know why the other one was like a matte white for some reason instead of a frosted gloss, but we fixed it now. um, I think you need to get MOQs for that as well, prices of that. But that will come with the bulk order. I'm not really too concerned. It's not hard to fuck up the thing. You just need a bag, and I get it like plastisol ink printed, my logo on there. That's it. Literally does not need anything else. It's not that much more meticulous or like not anything too detailed like the fucking hoodie here. Now that I realize like I kind of had this coming where I had so much more details on my hoodie as opposed to the first and second version that I wanted to get, you know, just the more details you have, the more you have to get right. The more, if you really cared about it, which I do, I want to get this picture perfect, bro. I need to get this absolutely perfect. Maybe 2 more things I could reference for is the plaid interior lining. Um, I have already instructions on that and reference images, so I think I'm actually good on that. But another thing is the stripes. But I think for the revision sheet, which I would make, which is like revision sheet slash tech pack, I would just let them know, notify them that I like the stripes and I liked how they made it. So they just need to replicate that. I don't want them to change anything about that. They did great because what I see from the photos, the stitching of the fabric strips are actually pretty good. They got them straight from the seam, the shoulder seam, down to the cuff, which is perfect. Just making sure that they get the color right. Um, yeah, I think this sample if all goes to well, they do it well. One thing that I don't really have control of is the color. I can control the dimensions and measurements and positioning as much as I want, but I can't control some things like that, like the color and the sizing somewhat. At the end of the day, it's all dependent on some guy in a factory who does it all, whether they read it or not, read my details. Um, Hopefully they do. I'm literally giving them word for word instructions, measurements. So, and these manufacturers, they're pretty good. They take things seriously. They don't just half-ass things. So I'm putting my trust in them. Uh, yeah. So hopefully we can get a good product. Oh, actually, now that I realize it, I need to make my interior. I need to make the outer shell of the fabric a little bit larger so it can accompany the lining interior, so that the jacket's not too tight. I'll figure that out tomorrow. I'm actually going to write a note for that right now that you guys cannot see. I'm so tired, bro. Longest day of my life. Longest work day of my life. I'll do this later. Yeah. This is day 208. Quite the fucking... Yeah. It's a long day today. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.